Hello and welcome to the Drew and Stu podcast. I'm Drew Livingstone. That's Cam Stewart. Cam, coming off, we were talking about Boston Pizza being a Canadian food chain, and like, why is it called Boston Pizza? Like, it's not in Boston. Boston's not known for their pizza. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's Chicago. Chicago's got the deep dish. New York's got the thin crust. Boston is known for chowder, like clam chowder and seafood and stuff. No, I'll never forget this too, Drew. You're gonna love this story too. This is what we do on the podcast. I lived up in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and they had the most northern Boston pizza franchise in the world. So at the time, I'm not sure you're young because you don't even remember I mentioned bands and you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, Cliff Clavin from Cheers. I'm not sure if you've ever seen Cheers before.
I've seen Cheers.
Okay, Cliff Clavin, the postman, was the representative for Boston Pizza back in the day, like 25 years ago.
He was like the ambassador?
Yeah. And his stage name, they used to call him John Ratzenberger PI. That was like their little campaign. So Boston Pizza sent him up to Yellowknife. So I hung with this dude, and I did a story on him, on Cliff Clavin, because Boston Pizza was in Yellowknife. And I'm like, wow, this is like, I kind of put two and two together, like, what's the deal here? And like, why is this happening? And out of all the people, you pick Cliff Clavin? Like, but anyway.
You couldn't get anybody else?
No, but he was actually a really cool dude. And we had some beers and I wrote a story on it. And I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, I always thought too, like, why is it called Boston Pizza? Like, it's a Canadian chain. Why don't you call it like Canada Pizza? And you don't want to alienate people. If you call it Toronto Pizza, people all over the country will hate you. If you call it Alberta, Edmonton or Calgary Pizza, people in the East are like, you guys are stooges. Why don't you call it like Canadian pizza or come up with something different?
Maybe that's why he chose Boston. He's like, you know what? Everyone hates Boston and Canada. Maybe they'll love the pizza. Like, who knows? Maybe it's
that sounds kind of opposite to a corporate business model, but okay.
Hey, it worked. Okay,
I love
he's a billionaire.
Drew. I don't know. He's doing quite well. Let's just say this. I'll trade my wallet for Mr. Treliving's wallet any day of the week, Drew.
Oh yeah, yes. Without hesitation, I'd be like, yeah, sure, take it. It could be anything in there.
Hey, Drew, with children, do you get the money from the government? I'm thinking about having a kid to get a paycheck. Does that work? Anyway, bad jokes. See, you haven't seen me in a while, and that's what I'm thinking about. Angles right now.
It depends on
if you feed them,
how you report your taxes and stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, Drew. I know the best is I go to a concert. You're like, what is that? The guy that sang "Summer of '69"? Know what I love about you, Drew? Like everything. Like you just make me laugh so hard. Like, know what the funny thing is? For all your cool. I'm not going to tell you all the details. I can't talk about it on the show. But anyway, a future date. But we have to talk about it. I will say this: it's so funny working with you because, like, your knowledge of like older stuff other than like last year is horrible. And it makes things fun because you know what the funny thing is though? For all of the people don't know, Drew, I bet you're the best father, but when it comes to like knowledge of regular things, like all you know is sports music. And Pampers.
Like music, I don't know. Okay?
Yeah, you don't know.
When it comes to like movies, I'm okay with.
Yeah, you're right.
But music, I can't do. I'm just not a music guy, Cam. I don't listen to Frank Sinatra and ZZ Top and all these guys.
I don't listen to Frank Sinatra either, unless I'm going.
Did you just go see him on Monday?
No, it's Frank Sinatra.
Oh no, it was George Diamond or
George Diamond. Was it? It's Neil Diamond. Remember Sweet Carol? That's another thing. Why do people do that song like when you have nothing to do? Like, wouldn't you rather have a song that's indicative of like the city that you play in? That's another thing about sports, or everyone uses woo,
why is that
like the Ric Flair goal. Like, get your own shit, people. Like, do your own thing and stop ripping off people. That's my tip.
I'm not a fan of stealing traditions, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to give our Canadian Open picks. We're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals and give a little NBA Finals tips. Minnesota forcing a Game 5 last night, Cam, in the NBA Finals. I thought it was going to be a sweep, both sides. It was going to be a shitty 10 days off before the final, but you said it yourself. It was going to be a conspiracy. There's no way the NBA was going to allow that to happen. Do you think Minnesota takes another one?
I do. I'm not saying they won because of the conspiracy, but what are you going to do for program when you're waiting like 10 days?
Yeah,
it was actually, you know what? It's actually a detriment to the NHL because if Minnesota,
people have to watch hockey.
That's kind of thing. If you're a sports addict, and now with gambling, like it's in front and forefront, I think a lot of fringe NBA fans would be like, let's check out this hockey stuff, and they might enjoy it because it's a great game to watch, right? Like, I talk to people like when nothing's on, they're like, oh, I caught a lacrosse game last night. And if your book has it, they're starting to bet on it. So anything that's new, I think is pretty good for betting. But I will say this, Minnesota hasn't really gotten to the line a lot. And I bet them not just on a conspiracy theory, but they were due. And that's really bad news for Dallas because Dallas has Luka Doncic, who's basically injured all the time. That extra time of rest would really help them. I know a lot of people, Drew, with the Dallas two-step or the line dance two-step with the Stars and Mavericks, and that makes a lot of sense. I think the Mavericks will win the series, but I'm going to take Minnesota in the next game, and I think the Mavericks probably win in 6. But listen to me, people. Like, I do stupid things, but sometimes I do smart things. Every single elimination game, right? The Pacers didn't win, Drew, but they covered both games at 7.5 and 8 on the road. Yep. They should have won those games, right? So in elimination games, people think teams are going to tap out. I kind of go the other way. I would rather bet a team that needs to advance the series because the way the world we're living in right now, more games is more money, is more viewership, is business.
Cam, I'm going to put a couple bucks on the Minnesota Timberwolves to win the NBA title right now.
Oh yeah, it's like, what is it, 40-1?
18-1 now.
Oh, it was 40 before last night's game. So good call by you.
So still 18. I'm still take that because if they win games 5 and 6, all of a sudden that's going to be a plus 220, and you're going to be able to cash that out pretty easily.
Drew, that's what I was talking about. So I do a show last night, and it's funny. Like, are these guys on Twitter going to like apologize to me for my Rangers meeting Dallas like stuff like that?
Hey, it hasn't happened yet, Cam.
No, see, this is the thing. Like, me and you make a bad bet. Like, I take Carolina in a football game, and they're basically biting our legs off. You know, it'd be nice, social media. When I say Dallas and Florida, how about, hey, that's not a bad pick, Cam, or you and Drew are doing a good job. But no, it's always the negative, eh? Like, out of all the teams in the league, at 24-1, I have the Rangers and Stars. Parlayed. I took the Leafs that's because I'm an idiot, but that's my problem. But Drew, I went on a show last night and the guy's like, I'm cheering for Florida. He goes, why are you cheering for Florida? I go, it's very simple. If I have a 24-1 parlay, I have to bet almost Florida in every game because the parlay pays so good. If Florida loses, you know the situation. We got to get something. And that's the thing about betting. You have to basically say you're going to win $8,000 or $10,000 or whatever. You have to think about your number. How's it going to help you, your family, whatever? If you're a millionaire, who cares about hedging? But when you're a regular person, you go, you know what? I think $3,000 would really help me right now. So I told the guy, I go, I'm going to bet Florida in these games because I already have the Rangers in my back pocket. And every time Florida wins, and if this thing goes to game 7, as we predicted, I can do all the math and go, this is the scenario I need tonight to maximize the value of the play.
Fully hedge it.
Thank you, Drew. You get me.
I agree with that, Cam. And I think speaking of the Dallas-New York parlay, let's look at the Dallas Stars taking on the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Dallas dominated Game 3 after going down 3-0. They came storming back. Jason Robinson hat-trick.
Love that guy. God.
I mean, he's finally showing up scoring goals. He even said, he's like, I just started shooting. Like, you're just like, okay, all right. Dallas now looking to take a stranglehold in the series to go up 3-1 in Edmonton. What do you think happens tonight, Cam? I mean, does Edmonton give their first haymaker back, or is this just all she wrote? I picked Dallas in 5 to start the series, so I'm going to stand by that. I'm going Dallas again tonight. I think they figured something out, and they realized that Darnell Nurse is the worst defenseman in the NHL, and just when he's on the ice, just dominate the Oilers. It's simple.
I'm worried because I think, like, you know, with McDavid and stuff, I worry about Edmonton getting calls tonight. Dallas is clearly a better team.
Well, their head coach complained after Game 2 when they won. He was like, "Oh yeah, I don't like that it's different rule book between the regular season and the playoffs." I was like, "Okay, Knoblock, it's that's not what you want. You don't want to complain about the refs in their faces."
Chuck Knoblock, Yankees hitter. Anyway, here's the deal. The thing about Dallas is why I love them. They go down and nothing bothers these guys. Nothing. Like, absolutely. You could be down. If the Oilers scored 3 early goals, I'd take Dallas live at plus 3.5, 2.5, 1.5, whatever, because they come back. They're men. Skinner didn't play as good in the last games. And I love Stu Skinner. He actually seems like a really nice guy. And but
he's just not a great goalie, Cam.
No, he's an average goaltender. And the thing is, me and Gabe laugh. Edmonton media, why do you guys put these guys on the psychiatrist couch after every game? Cut the reporters. The Edmonton media puts these guys in orbit. Stop asking them deep questions about, oh, how's your life? And are you in your head? And enough. and I've talked about this with all Canadian teams, and it's great working with Americans because we talk about this. When the Nashville Predators went on the run, Drew, it was me with a cowboy hat and a belt buckle, one newspaper reporter, play-by-play guy, Terry Crisp, whatever. I did one-on-ones with the whole team, and they were loose as hell. They played great. The Canadian media ruins their own. We cannibalize our own with dumb questions, annoying stuff. You just let these guys get peppered. You know what I say? Me and you were on a team, Drew. I will take a few questions. We didn't play well tonight after the first period. End of interview. You know what? Write your own damn story. Why are you giving these guys open access and you're hurting your own team?
We blew a multi-goal lead. There's nothing else to talk about, guys. We got to be better next game. All right, see ya.
Like, do you not agree with me? Like, why do you think Canadian teams don't win? It's not just, oh, Gary hates, like, no, it's because you're allowing 80 people with fake credentials into a room, and these guys sit there for hours taking questions when we should just literally, it should be a 5 to 10 minute thing and you're out the door. And you're going home and you're
shouldn't even be in the room, Cam. It should be like
podium.
The team gives
podium.
Gives 3 players to the podium after every game, just like the NFL. The NFL doesn't allow reporters in the room. They have selected players, the quarterback, obviously, and then usually the stars are the most important parts of the game.
Yes.
We'll go to the podium.
And you can rotate it too. If Suter does it one game, then Heiskanen will do it, whatever. Like, how could me and you come up with this stuff? Like, it's just so stupid. Like,
and Cam, the American media, you saw Sheldon Keefe's introductory press conference in New Jersey. There was like 4 reporters.
I loved it.
And he's got the Leafs, Craig Berube. It's like live streamed online on TV. There's 100 reporters there. Just like, we got pictures of Mitch Marner having coffee with his head coach, and everyone's like, "Oh, why is he having coffee? Leave the guy alone. Let him have a coffee.
He should be drinking green tea." No, that's the thing. Like, Canadian media, and we're in it, but we do more joke stuff and betting. You're actually doing a disservice to the teams because you're putting these guys on edge so much with all these dumb questions. They can't be free in their mind to just play a game that's a child's game. That's my end of discussion. I like the Dallas Stars tonight. And I'll always.
So I like them as well.
I like Dallas in 6.
Okay. Well, do you like the over or the under tonight?
You tell me. You're a totals guy.
I like the over. I think it's going to be like 5-3 again, 6-3. I think there'll be a lot of goals. I got a big points parlay to share with you. I don't know if you're interested, but
did you like my Carter Verhaeghe pick last night online? I'm a Verhaeghe guy. He should have had like 4 goals in that game. If he scored the first goal, Drew, I would have made like tons. I've never gone that hard on like a goal scorer. I think he was 2-1. And I usually put like $20 on that stuff. I'm like, I'm rolling it tonight. Like, that guy's game is so damn strong. I love that player.
Okay, Cam. So because I think it's going to be high scoring, here's the parlay I got. Okay. It's McDavid 2 points, Draisaitl 2 points, Zach Hyman 2 points. Those are the Oilers guys. Just the 3 big guys. I think it's safe to do. Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson, and Miro Heiskanen, all 2 points. Pays 190 to 1.
I got no problem with that. Hintz had 2 points the last game. Robertson had a hat trick. You know what the problem with the Oilers, though, out of your parlay, but still play it? One of those guys is going to fall short.
Never know. I mean, when you're giving me $10,
no, Drew. It's a lottery ticket. You can go up to the local mall and buy pot of gold or whatever the hell they're calling it now, and drop $500 and win a free ticket. So I like your parlay.
Yeah, fair enough. That's my picks tonight. Do you like any shot props or anything tonight?
Shot props.
Or goal scorers? You got a feeling? You've been calling goal scorers lately.
You know who's kind of coming in my head tonight that I haven't really? Stankoven.
Ooh.
If you're looking for somebody deeper down the line.
Anytime goal scorer, 5-1?
Anytime is, I got like a plus 525, I think, on one. And I think first goal, is it close to like 18?
20 to 1.
Oh, God, yes. Thank you, Drew. So Stankoven, Dallas, anytime first.
Okay, give me an Oiler. That's a star. Give me an Oiler score first.
Bouchard.
Oilers. You like the Boosh bomb, eh? Yep. You're one of his few fans.
I don't want to take the obvious stuff at less money. I'd rather. Know what I've learned too, Drew, with Dallas, like when Heiskanen scored the first goal for me at 20 to 1. A lot of the time, the defensemen, like, they just get guys in front of the net. If it doesn't bounce off, off the defending player instead of the offensive player, I think defensemen are good to pick. Hell, Cody Ceci scored a goal.
Yep.
At like, what was he? Like 40 to 1?
Maybe longer than that. Like, who knows? He's not even on the board. You can't even pick him today. So yeah, that's as simple as that. All right, Cam. Game 5 between the Rangers and Florida Panthers goes tomorrow. Florida is the favorite on the road. Rangers home underdogs at plus 110. Total is 5.5. Florida's dominated the last 3 games, Cam, in regulation. Like at 5-on-5, it's been an absolute shit show. If it wasn't for Shesterkin, this could be a sweep.
I agree. Great call.
But the Rangers won 2 games in overtime, almost won a third. It was almost crazy. I was like, if they win a third game in overtime here after being dominated, Shesterkin deserves a statue in MSG. But they had terrible penalty kill coverage, almost gave up a penalty shot in overtime. It should have been a penalty shot last night. So yeah, I don't know. Do you think Florida continues to dominate?
Yes.
I don't want. New York's my cup pick in my bracket. And all
know what, Drew?
Futures, but
I have futures on them too, but you also have to use your head. You said it brilliantly. Without Shesterkin, this series, like Florida should win every single game in this series. In the first period, I'm watching these guys. I'm like, they're just pounding them. The Rangers defenseman too. Trouba could be the worst captain in the league. He's not good.
He's not a good defenseman.
Dude, if you think Trouba's a good defenseman, you don't know hockey. Like, he's a good leader.
He's the reason they got scored on the power play last night. He went out to the point, and I was like, "Where's he going?" And
he's a good guy, dirty stuff. He's a smart player when it comes to that stuff because he's been in the league a long time. But the difference is, Florida has so many guys on their team that are great, and if not for Shesterkin, the series would be over. But I'm going to say this, Drew. I'll give the Rangers credit. When you get dominated and win games, that shows a lot about you. But I maintain I said Florida in 7, and my original pick was Rangers. I have to keep on betting on Florida because the monies for the Rangers Dallas stuff is very big. And if I leave Florida off the table, I'm just like, even if I bet Florida all the time, it's helping me because if they win the series and I get nothing, I'm screwed. So I'm basically in on Florida. And if they win in 7, I got a great situation going on. Give me Florida.
I'm going to take Florida as well just because they've been dominating 5-on-5 play, Cam. I mean, I saw the shots with Ekblad on the ice at 5-on-5 were 28-3 last night. The shot attempts were 28-3 with Ekblad on the ice. And then in game 3, it was 55-3 with Tkachuk on the ice at 5-on-5. I was like, what the hell is going on in this game? Total, I like the under 5.5. I think it's going to be a 3-2 game. Again, it's going to be close because of the goaltending. So give me Florida and the under, and then give me Dallas and the over. So
Stanley Cup pick. I will say one thing.
Now, my pick before the playoffs came was the Rangers. Right now, I'm leaning Florida for the Cup.
Drew, smart guy. See, you know nothing about music or whatever. You tell me you don't know who Neil Diamond is or any of these old crooners. But I'm going to tell you something. Take a look at the odds board and look at it and go, what is the best number for the bet? Like Florida's number right now is the best pick on the board, despite me having futures on. I have Dallas to win it all. That was my pick at the start. I'm sticking with it, but I'm going to tell you, if Florida meets Dallas, I'd be very scared to play the Florida Panthers if they get it because they do everything well too. I
think Edmonton's the worst team remaining, so I don't think they have a chance against Florida or New York. But I don't think Dallas wants Florida either. That series is going to be a rough one if it happens. But hopefully for my futures, New York wins the series somehow. But we'll see. I don't know. Speaking of the Rangers, Cam, how about Artemi Panarin? No goals or 1 goal in his last 10 playoff games. The guy just hasn't really been showing up.
The bread man,
do you think something's wrong with him?
Yeah. Hey, everybody, Drew, and for all the people that don't know Drew and like Meany, like these guys are pretty good athletes. Like you'll look at Drew and go, "Who is this guy?" But he can get it around. He's a good ball hockey player. He's a pretty good athlete. If you're not playing with injuries in the playoffs, you're not playing hard enough. I think some guys can handle pain better. But Panarin doesn't look right. But I think there's a lot of guys that don't. I think McDavid's playing hurt too. But some guys just shake it off.
He's still performing though. Panarin's making $11 million, Cam. You can't have 1 point from the guy.
I agree with that. Look at the guys on Dallas, like they're fringe players who are stepping up, making no money. That's the whole thing. If your stars aren't your stars, you're not going to win. And the problem with Panarin is, for me at the Rangers, it's Trocheck and Kreider. Those are their guys.
And Lafreniere.
Lafreniere's on. Great call, Drew. You know what? We talked about this too, and this is another.
Everyone calling this kid a bust. He came in during the COVID season. Like, give the kid a chance. Now, 3 years later, look at this guy. I was like, unbelievable. Looks like their best player.
I don't know what you're doing to me right now, Drew, other than like making everything you say is so point on that I'm loving you. And another thing, hey, people, in hockey, you can't bring a kid from junior, expect him to be a star. And the best thing that happened to him was the Rangers had 6 top quality guys on their lines. He started late on the 3rd and 4th line. And you know what it did? Yep. Gave him confidence. That's what you do. You start a kid. You don't put him up at the top and ruin his confidence. You put him at the bottom and let him grow.
And now he's dangling everybody.
We should be coaches,
everybody.
bro. Like, I don't understand some of these idiots. Oh, I'm going to put my top draft. She's a top draft pick. There's still kids coming into a men's league, you morons.
Yeah, there's a few exceptions. Like Connor Bedard's an exception because he's a
phenom. Lafreniere was a very good player. You start him on the 3rd and 4th. Let him get confidence.
That's what I mean. And you got all these guys. Jack Hughes is a bust, and all of a sudden 2 years later he's putting up 99 points. You're like, oh, now he's not a bust anymore.
Guys
how do you let these guys grow?
Some of these reporters have never played the game before. Sometimes it takes a while to get a level of confidence where, like when I got called up, the game is fast for you for a while. And then once you figure it out and go, I can play here, then you start to play better.
You're also $160 going against guys who are 220 of muscle.
Yes.
Like, it's just like you're also a bit intimidated. Like these are grown ass men you're going against now. Like it's a bit different than junior. But yeah, Lafreniere looks unbelievable in this playoff so far. And I think he's a star in the making. So in your fantasy drafts next year, you draft this guy high because I think he's going to be. He might lead their team in points next season. As crazy as that sounds. All right, moving on, Cam. The RBC Canadian Open. I usually attend the Canadian Open, Cam. I'm not going to be going there this year. You going?
You want to pick me up and pick me up and take me to Hamilton? I'll go on Saturday if you're available.
Oh, there we go. Maybe we'll see.
I really want to go. Because I used to go to Glen Abbey all the time and heckle players. Like I remember back in the day, there was a Swedish golfer, Freddie Jakobsen. He had like a 4-shot lead. He puts one in the side of the bunker. I'm following. He shanks one again, like on the lip. I go, Freddie, I got you at 150-1. What the hell are you doing to me? I thought he was going to tell me like, F off. He goes, I will try to do better for you. He took like a quadruple bogey. And ever since that day, I'm like, what a dick I am. Like I was yelling at the guy and he folded. But anyway, I love the Canadian Open, Drew. And it's an interesting thought. Hamilton is a really old school course, very short. It's just over 7,000 yards, probably the shortest on tour.
And we've seen Rory dominate here before.
Yeah, but the problem is Rory's going through a divorce. There's rumors with him.
Divorce of his decision, though. It's different.
Okay, well, is he banging Amanda Balionis from CBS? What's the deal? We
didn't say nothing.
Sorry, the thoughts of Cam Stewart do not apply to SD, like the network, Steve, and everybody else. You guys come at me. That was just a joke. It was just a joke. Let's just say they're getting cozy in interviews. I don't know what's happening, but I'll tell you this. When you have a short course like this, Drew, it opens the door for so many possibilities. Because you could be a plotter or you could be a bob and gouger like Rory. You think I'm betting Rory McIlroy 3-1? I don't care if he wins the damn tournament. Those odds suck.
It's true. So give me your 6-pack, Cam. Actually, I'll give you my 3 picks. Let's see. I have 3 picks for the tournament. Let's see if you agree with them. I like Shane Lowry. Love him this week.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I like Tommy Fleetwood, who I'm always a sucker for. And give me a little Adam Hadwin, 50-1.
Oh, wow, Drew. This is interesting when we don't talk before the show. I think things go better. Here's what I'm doing. I have to win the tournament. Sorry, I got 9 emails with this stuff because I'm doing first round leaders. Here we go. Picks. Okay. Shane Lowry to win 25-1.
Let's go.
Alex Noren to win 28-1. Rye and Ginger, Aaron Rye, 2 gloves, Brits, 42. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Tom Kim, 36. And then 2 bombs. Nasty Nate Lashley, 150. And Braveheart's own Matt Wallace, 100. Top 10, Tommy Fleetwood, plus 180. Top 20, Adam Hadwin, plus 185. Hadwin, top Canadian. And Mackenzie Hughes, plus 185, top 20.
So neither of us believe in the Nick Taylor.
He's still going to do okay. I was going to do every Canadian to make the cut except for the amateurs. Top 30.
Yeah, I feel like.
Is it Mark Messier or Mac Mesner? Plus 170. Top 40. My old friend, Moops. Is it Moores? Moops, you idiot. Ryan Moore, plus 190 with a sprinkle of Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace, I have to win at 100. Top 40, plus 120. Would you care for some first round leaders, friend? This is what I've hit 2 out of 3.
Hang on, I got a question for you.
Oh, sorry, I get excited.
I got Zach Johnson at 300 to 1. He's now 250 to 1. He's been playing great.
It's a great pick.
3 of the top 20s his last 4 rounds, Cam.
Drew, I'm going to make you. I think Zach Johnson. What you should do with him? 20
first round leader.
Sure, sprinkle on that, but go 20, 30, and 40 and mix up your units, because I think if he makes the cut, the 40 is going to be there. So say you had $100. I'm just going to use this as an example, okay?
Yeah.
You put 50 on him top 40, you put 30 on him top 30, and you put 20 on him top 20. And then sprinkle on the first round leader, okay?
I like it.
I like that. Dude, we have a couple of the same picks, and I'll give you here are my first round leaders. Guys, I've hit 2 out of 3. I was second last week too. Almost hit it again. Sahit Tagala, first round leader bets are better than the tournament because you get better odds on guys who are chalk.
Yeah.
Tagala, 35 to 1. Cameron, not Neil Young, Cameron Young, 45 to 1. Mackenzie Hughes, 50 to 1. Canadian from Dundas, Ontario, literally minutes away from Hamilton. Eric Von Royen, the South African from the University of Minnesota, should have played hockey with the Golden Gophers, 60. Adam Svensson, 70 to 1. I also have a sprinkle on Matt Wallace at 90, but my big pick, and I'll give Mayo a little bit of credit for this when I did the show, Lips. David Lipsky, first round leader, 200 to 1. $20 gets you $4,000. Enjoy.
Lipsky.
Lips.
All right.
Hot.
Was there a reason behind that pick?
He plays well on short courses. Been not too bad. Dude, there's so many guys in the $150 to $200 range this week that actually might clip. You can't bet them all. Lips.
I weirdly like Robert McIntyre at 80 to 1.
I like Robert McIntyre too, but he's a lefty.
Name,
what?
Yeah, that's why I like it.
I like it. Actually, I have McIntyre in a matchup bet, but he's a pale left-handed Scot, which you could appreciate, Drew. Kind of like me, but I'm a red-faced Scot.
All I know is
lefty.
I'm all in on the Irishman Shane Lowry this week. I'll have him first round leader, top 10, top 5, win tournament. So if Shane Lowry's in contention Sunday, I'll be right there. Maybe I'll get a ticket and head over to the course and start cheering him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, if Rory wins, then we're just all gonna be upset because it'll ruin all my bets. Maybe not my top 20, top 10.
But to tell the listeners and viewers again, when you're betting outrights in golf, it's 160 plus guys, one guy wins. So you have to manipulate other markets, matchup. You
gotta be ready to cash out. Hit that cash out button.
Yes. Like if there's 6 guys, but you have to do it at the right time. It's kind of like when you're betting baseball. You don't hit the cash out button while your team's at bat. You wait for the other team to do it to get the number. Like football, you don't cash out with your team with possession. You wait, let them have possession and pray for a punt to get better. Like, you know what I mean, Drew? It's all about timing, as you know, since you're a gambler.
All right, Cam. That does it for this episode of the Drew and Sue podcast. The Canadian Open this week. Hopefully, maybe we can find a way over there. It's cheap tickets. It's cheap beers. I know it's a good event to do. I know a lot of people don't like it. Last year, I went with my buddy, and he got a tick bit him on the leg while we were there. So he wasn't happy about that. Got stuck.
He got Lyme disease from going to a golf
No, he was
tournament?
fine. He was fine. It didn't have it in it, luckily. But it's crazy. Those things go into your skin, Cam. You don't even see them. They're like flush with your skin.
I worked with a guy who had Lyme disease. It almost like you can die from it if you don't get it treated properly, dude. Like this guy's, you can get on the couch for like a year. It could ruin your life. It's the real deal. Why do you think they have commercials for dogs with mosquitoes and ticks? 100%. Heartworm. Like you need the whole parlay of treatments. Like if your dog gets a tick, you got a real problem, friend.
That's right. All right, Cam, let's head out of here. Any fine words of wisdom as we head out?
Words of wisdom. If you have a leader in golf on the final day, do the math. Don't sit there and get pummeled and get nothing out of it, Drew. Like figure out like what you've done, chart it, because there's nothing worse than leading for 3 rounds and thinking you're going to win like $5,000 and all of a sudden the wheels fall off. Have a plan B, because golf betting is really, really tough. Hedge and find ways to make money in this tournament. Matchup bet. Do whatever you got to do. Actually, Drew, I had Morikawa plus 180 over Scheffler. He actually beat him in a matchup bet on Sunday, which saved my ass for some other stuff. So basically golf, be creative, and let's hope we hit our hockey winners, buddy. And I love the picks. Stankoven, anytime, and first goal is my big long shot for Dallas.
Don't forget to put your Bush bomb, your first goal for
Edmonton. And Bush bomb for Edmonton. Thank you.
Exactly. All right, everyone. We're heading out of here. Please click like, please click subscribe, please rate and review on all audio platforms. Comment what your favorite picks are for the Canadian Open below and who you think is going to win the Stanley Cup and whether or not you think Minnesota, the Timberwolves, can come back and win the NBA championship. Maybe worth a little sprinkle. Anyways, we will see you next week.
This has been Drew and Stu. Follow Drew at Producer Drew and Cam at Cam Stewart Live. May the winners be yours and all of the best bets hit.